Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 16 of Radio Free Filler.
Greetings, tedious earthling.
How's that?
I have been studying your language and learning new words.
Oh, that's nice, I think.
What is that object you are carrying?
Oh, this? It's the latest copy of UFO Digest. I thought you might be interested.
Why?
Well, I think they have a picture of you in here.
That makes no sense.
Why not?
There is no such thing as a UFO.
But what about your spaceship?
That is not a UFO. It is a regular FO.
Well, anyway, I thought you'd be interested in them printing your picture.
Let me see that.
There you are, on page 3.
That is not me.
Really? It looks just like you.
That is my younger cousin,
What's his name?
Gullet.
Gullet?
Yes, Gullet.
I thought you guys all used hairstyles instead of names.
That is correct.
But he's named after a part of a bird.
That is also correct.
Well, how did that happen?
He changed his name.
Why?
There is no explaining it. He was always the orange sweater of the family.
The what?
The orange sweater. We do not like to talk about it.
Oh, you mean like the black sheep.
No, I mean the orange sweater. You know, there are times when you humans make no sense whatsoever.
But I can explain that expression.
I doubt it.
No, really, it's like this.
No sense whatsoever.
No, wait, just look at this sheep.
That sheep is just dark blue.
Well, yes, but my point is...
Dark blue is very popular on my planet.
Oh, I get it. Now, suppose the sheep were actually orange.
Orange is very popular on my planet.
But what about...
I think it might rain soon.
Well, what does that have to do with...
It will cause a number of things to become wet.
Well, that's true. Are you worried?
I am hopeful.
Do you enjoy the rain?
No,
Then why are you hopeful?
I find it preferable to this conversation.
I think you're in luck.
You had better take your sheep inside.
That's not my sheep.
I acknowledge your shame.
Well, that was awkward. And now here's a special message from Dr. Andy Whiney. Hiya, folks. This is Andy Whiney, or Dr. Andy Whiney to you. Before you start bothering me with a lot of medical questions about how your back hurts or why shoes made of Legos are a bad idea, I'd just like to put in a little plug. Now, everyone has probably heard those announcements about how this show is brought to you by such and such a sponsor, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that none of those announcements are true. The sponsors don't bring you anything. They give money so that they can interrupt the real shows, the shows you wanted to see or hear, with their stupid ads. Besides, this show doesn't even have a sponsor. What it does have is a broadcast station, and that's who actually brings you the show. This show's broadcast station is WERA 96.7 FM in Arlington, Virginia, and it's a part of Arlington Independent Media. So instead of spending your money on a lot of stuff you probably don't need, why not send a few bucks to Arlington Independent Media? You can find them on the web under arlingtonmedia.org, and they have a donate button to make everything simple. Look at it this way. If you just give a little, maybe they can keep broadcasting shows like this. And if you give a whole lot, maybe they can find some better shows to broadcast. And remember what I always like to say. This is Andy Whiney signing off and getting out of here. Thank you, Andy Whiney, I think. Now, as a public service message, here's a cautionary song about taking it easy as you start to age. Okay, hit it! Well, don't hit it, just nudge it a little. There's a bone in the body I've been learning about. It's a genuine bone, there can be no doubt. You're born with it, and it's really nifty, but it breaks in half when you turn 50. You go through life feeling fine, but the bone still breaks when it hits its time. It doesn't much matter what you do when it finally catches up to you. Whether you're working or whether you're playing, all of a sudden you'll start saying, I can do that, I can still do that, I can't do it anymore. It works the same way as the roundabout bone when your kid brother gets to spin all alone, and the monkey bar bone that splits in two when you're upside down hanging days are through. Dead of night or break of day, sooner or later you're bound to say, I did that, I used to do that, I don't want to do it anymore. Makes you feel like you want to yell, but who can you talk to, who can you tell? The 20-year-old is inclined to doubt it, while the 80-year-old just says, tell me about it. January or July, one fine day you'll join the cry. I can do that, I can still do that, I can't do it anymore. I did that, I used to do that, I don't want to do it anymore. It used to be easy, just give me a minute. So much time, so much service, so little public, so what? Anyway, in this time of the COVID crisis, I'm really excited about meeting our next guest. This is someone who does battle on the medical front lines every day, one of our new generation of genuine heroes. Yes, it's none other than a genuine registered nurse. Hello. Thank you for that generous introduction. Nevertheless, I am afraid I am going to have to correct you on one minor point. What's that? I am not actually a registered nurse. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you a regular physician? My answer to that question would have to be no. Are you a volunteer nurse? Not in any sense of the word. Actually, let me amend that last remark. Not in any sense of either of the words, at least not as they are generally understood. Are you an orderly? Well, I like to think of myself as a very organized person. However, again, using that term as it is generally understood, I have to state that I am not an orderly. So, what exactly is your position in the medical community? I do not currently have any official position within the medical community. I will admit to having been a patient on a few occasions, but I do not believe that is the kind of response you are looking for. At least, not exactly. So, what exactly are you? I am a registered nerd. A what? A registered nerd. I didn't know you guys were required to register. Actually, we are not required to register. It is a conscious decision that each one of us must make. And what are the benefits? The fact that you ask that question demonstrates the fact that you yourself are not a registered nerd. It is a position of status. I see. By the way, I've noticed that when you speak, you always pronounce every available syllable of every word. You never seem to use contractions. That is because I do not like them. I do not even like the term. I believe that it should be used only to describe physiological events associated with childbirth. For that matter, I do not care to discuss events associated with childbirth either. Why not? The subject reminds me of your mother? No, my monkey. You see, I had a pet monkey as a child, but my parents made me get rid of it. Did they tell you why? Yes, they said they objected to all the chatter. I guess some monkeys do make a lot of noise. It was not the monkey sounds that they found objectionable. They did not like it when I talked to it all the time. They said it was unreasonable and annoying. But what were you saying? I was merely attempting to instruct the monkey on the proper use of a slide rule. Ah, I can see how that would be difficult for a monkey to learn. You never knew my monkey. That's true. So, did your monkey ever learn to use the slide rule? Well, actually, no. However, I was only allowed 10 months of instruction time. And what did the monkey do? Sometimes he would take one end of the slide rule and use the other end to bang on the bars of his cage, but that only happened when he was inside his cage. What did he do when he was outside his cage? He would throw the slide rule at anyone who was nearby. And what did you do then? I would encourage him to develop his accuracy. You see, sometimes the successful acquisition of one skill provides the necessary confidence to master another skill. I see. You know, I was beginning to wonder about the connection between the concept of childbirth and your pet monkey, but do not ask. You can rely on me. Well, if nothing else, I think we can all agree that Charles Darwin had a great big beard. Not all of the time. And speaking of time, that's all the time we have left for this interview. Thank you and goodbye. I believe you are mistaken. The show clock appears to indicate that we still have... Thank you and goodbye. Did you know that the origin of the word goodbye is actually goodbye and thank you and goodbye? You know, that Washington Monument is really tall. For those of you listening at home, I want to assure you that this interview was conducted while observing the proper amount of social distancing in addition to using approved face masks. I only wish I'd had some earplugs.